I saw the blood surrounding me in the water. I just started kicking and screaming, "Get out of the water, get out of the water." But I realized the shark might come back and bite me again.
Fitzroy Island, just off the coast of Queensland, Australia, is the kind of place that looks like a postcard come to life: turquoise waters, sun-kissed reefs, and soft, powdery sands. For most, it's a dream destination. For Anika Craney, it was both a workplace and a sanctuary. A documentary filmmaker and freediver, Anika had spent much of her adult life beneath the surface, exploring, filming, and respecting the mysteries of the deep. Her connection to the ocean was spiritual. She'd swum with sharks, dolphins, and manta rays. She wasn't fearless, but she was prepared. Or so she thought. That morning, she climbed aboard barefoot, a private boat commissioned for a marine documentary project. With her were seasoned crew members and a newly recruited team member eager for his first real dive.
Emily is a new crew member of the Barefoot crew, and it was her first day on the boat. She got in the water with me and we swam towards the beach.
Wanting to ease his nerves and introduce him to the water, Anika offered to take him on a short free dive near Fitzroy Island's reef shelf. The sky was clear, the sea relatively calm. But once they slipped beneath the surface, things changed. The visibility was really murky, Anika later said in an interview. You couldn't see beyond an arm's length. That's unusual for this part of the reef. It felt wrong. Still, they kept going, treading softly, heads swiveling. But the longer she stayed submerged, the heavier her chest felt, not from breath-holding, but unease. She surfaced and called out to the boat. "I'm not really comfortable," she said. "We should head back." As they began their swim back, Anika noticed something out of the corner of her eye, a faint shape gliding over the pale sand below. A shark. She paused in the water, barely moving. Her instinct wasn't panic, but calculation. She had encountered reef sharks, even bull sharks, before. She knew body language, understood cues. But something about this shark's movement was off. It wasn't gliding casually like most reef dwellers. It was focused. Tracking. I noticed its behavior wasn't normal. Its movements weren't casual, she recalled. I looked the shark in the eye and saw, it was looking straight at me. Only me.
I noticed that as it was swimming towards me, its behavior was not comfortable to me.
Her heart pounded. Her limbs felt suddenly heavy in the water. She floated there, still, trying not to provoke it. She tucked her fins in front of her torso, just in case. Then, impact.
I looked the shark in the eye and I saw that it was looking straight at me. I prepared myself. I moved my fins around from behind me and put them out in front of me. And then I felt the impact. It hit me so fast.
A thunderous jolt to her lower body. The water exploded in white and red around her. For a split second, she thought it had rammed her. I didn't even realize it had bitten me.
It hit me so fast. I didn't even quite realize what had happened. I felt this pressure on my left leg. And honestly, I thought that it had just hit me with its head. And so my instinctual reaction was to kick it off.
My brain couldn't register it. Instinct took over. She kicked with all her might, trying to push the animal away. Her foot hit something hard, its snout, she assumed. Only then did she see the blood.
There was splashing and commotion at the surface and my head was now out of the water, so I couldn't actually see what was happening. It wasn't until I saw the blood pooling around me that I actually realized it had bitten me.
Pools of it, swirling like smoke in the water. Her leg, shredded. Skin torn, bone exposed. A crimson bloom expanded around her like a death flag. And the worst part? The shark hadn't left. Adrenaline surged. Anika screamed, loud, guttural cries that shattered the serene ocean air. I wasn't just screaming because of the pain. I was screaming because I thought it was coming back.
I felt so much fear. Everything became kind of white and foggy, and I couldn't even really hear what was happening. I realized my life was in danger.
She was bleeding heavily, an artery completely severed. The shark's teeth had sunk all the way into her tibia, and left behind two of them, lodged in the bone. Everything blurred. The horizon tilted. I kept thinking, it's going to come up under me again. It's going to finish the job. And that voice inside my head was screaming, "You're about to die." She looked around, northwest one close enough. Just her. The open sea. And the knowledge that her time might be running out.
I tried to swim out of there as hard and fast as I possibly could.
Summoning everything she had, Anika began to swim toward the boat. Her left leg was useless, limp and gushing blood, so she kicked with her right and paddled with her arms. She didn't know where the shark was now. Every movement through the water felt like a gamble. Was she drawing attention? Was she leaving a trail? That's when she spotted two women near the shoreline, locals who had seen the commotion. They threw her a paddleboard. She dragged herself onto it, propping her leg up. The pain was electric, sharp, burning, endless. But she didn't stop. "I knew I couldn't wait for help," she said. "I had to get out of the water. If it came back, I wouldn't survive." By the time she reached the sand, she was barely conscious. Onlookers rushed toward her, someone grabbed a towel, another person used a shirt to apply pressure to her wound. She remembers flashes, a woman crying. A man yelling into a phone. The sound of the helicopter. Anika was airlifted out of Fitzroy Island, her leg wrapped, her skin pale from blood loss.
My whole leg went numb, but the hot, blood-rushing feeling stopped. Then I was carried in a stretcher up the beach, and I looked up and I could see this helicopter hovering straight above me. And the sound of the propeller blades was so loud, and I was screaming at these paramedics, "I love you, you're amazing!"
Doctors later said she was lucky to survive. The shark bit through muscle, nerve, and artery, she explained. It exposed bone and left 2 teeth in my leg. That wound took months to close. But the healing, that was only beginning. Back on land, Anika underwent emergency surgery.
When this one swam under her, she put her fins in front of it, then kicked it.
I'm really lucky with the way I was bitten, because if it had been anywhere else in the body, it could have been fatal.
Doctors cleaned the wound, removed the shark's teeth, and stitched her leg.
Bite marks on her fin and parts of the shark's tooth found in her wound, now souvenirs of an incredible.
She couldn't walk for weeks. Every day was pain, physical, emotional, and mental. "I kept having flashbacks," she admitted. "I would wake up in the night screaming. I could still feel the water, feel the bite, feel it coming back." But slowly, step by agonizing step, she recovered. She learned to walk again. She returned to editing footage. She processed what had happened through writing, journaling, therapy. And something inside her changed. "I didn't want to be afraid of the water. I wanted to respect it again." Weeks after her stitches healed, she did something no one expected. She swam again, with sharks. I needed to make peace with it. I didn't want my last memory of them to be fear or violence. She dove into the water, this time with trained guides and safety precautions, and let herself be immersed in the ocean once more. There was fear, yes. But there was also peace. It was a spiritual experience. That moment helped me move on. Anika's story is more than a survival tale. It's a message. That fear doesn't define you. That courage isn't about the absence of fear, it's about what you do with it. That even when blood spills, and teeth sink deep, and darkness threatens to pull you under, you can rise. You can swim again. You can reclaim your ocean. Anika Craney faced death in the open sea, but she chose to fight, to heal, and to return to the very waters that nearly took her life. Her story is a reminder that courage isn't about being fearless, it's about rising, even when you're broken. If her journey inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more true survival stories.
A lover of the ocean and the creatures that call it home, she doesn't want this to put others off.
It's okay. I know. Now that I've seen the wound and heard what happened, it's a freak out.
I was ready to get in the water. I actually chose to swim with sharks, and I'm glad that I did. It was a really wonderful way to make peace with this experience. To be swimming around and looking at all of these creatures in a state of grace. Bite Club is a group of animal bite survivors. To feel connected to other people that have lived through a similar trauma makes you feel so much less alone in your suffering. And that connection really, really helps with the recovery and the healing and the acceptance that's necessary to move forward in life. I choose not to think of myself as a victim. I choose to think of myself as a survivor, because the word survivor has an empowering sensation attached to it. I still love sharks. I'm always thinking about them when I'm in the water, and there is still fear, but I continue to choose love over fear.